Hello, my name is Brandon Lee, and this is my first recording for Sociology of Disaster. And jumping into the first question, what are the terms that are most important concepts of this week's lessons? So the fundamental theories I found were the acts of fate, acts of God, which were uncontrollable forces that are out of human control, are in Mother Nature's control. And example the introduction chapter gave was the coal company that used the act of God to justify their bridge or their dam failing, saying that the water had too much pressure because of God bringing too much water, when in actuality they did not use the correct material rated for the pressure. And the next theory would be the interplay between nature and society. So earthquakes don't kill people, but the buildings kill people. So in this theory, disasters are a result of human failure, and disaster only really happens when both human and nature fail. So kind of like the old saying, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there, does it make a noise? So if an earthquake happens and no buildings fall, no one gets hurt and life goes on, is it really a disaster? So under this theory, man is the one that decides what is a disaster based on the consequences of us. And the chapters also talk about vulnerability, meaning that vulnerability is socially constructed, and some populations will be affected worse than others because of physical and economic factors. The chapter defines two terms of emergencies that are common occurrences like fires. Well, hopefully they're not common, but they're common enough that we are trained and personnel are trained to and equipped to combat them. We are taught in elementary school to stop, drop, and roll. We're taught where the exits are. We do the little fire drills, and that would be an example of common occurrence emergencies. The other example is emergencies that are extreme and immediate. So, and this is, the personnel are not trained for this. So, if the school had a flood, we're not prepared for that flood. We're not taught how to do it. The personnel might, but it's not common knowledge in elementary school how to combat a flood as it was how to combat a fire. So that's an example of extreme immediate event. And a common theme I found throughout all the readings is the interplay between government, local, state, and federal, private actors, nonprofits, personal, and this is where I think sociology can come in and analyze how things work. We can use a sociological lens to analyze how to more effectively combat disasters, research how to better allocate funds, resources, to be better prepared for disasters. Question 2, what was the muddiest point? I was kind of confused at how the theories fit together. Do we use a single theory to define a disaster, or do we use them together? I guess I'd like to see a disaster recently that I can remember that we can use these theories in, kind of like, I guess, Katrina. So how do these theories relate to Katrina? And my in-class question is, why is it that we only see governmental policies and preparedness after the fact of large disasters rather than before? So why do we act proactively rather than reactively? Thank you.